Good evening, everybody. I'm calling our council meeting to order, and please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And we have Laura here in place of Aaron tonight. Would you mind taking the roll, please? Councilman Dietrich.
Here.
Councilman Gray.
Here.
Councilman Pointer.
Here.
Councilman Sherburne.
Here.
Councilman Schmidt. Here. And everybody is here. And I checked with Tim. He said there's no changes to the agenda. Does anybody else have any other changes or comments before I'll take a motion to accept our agenda as presented?
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay. Go through Linda?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
And Mary Ann?
Yes.
Next, it's public input period. Please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record before proceeding with any comments. Individual remarks are limited to 5 minutes, with the overall public input period limited to 30 minutes. Under Iowa Open Meetings Law, the city council can take no formal action on comments given during public input that do not relate to action items on the agenda. Does anybody want to speak to the council tonight? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public input period and we will move on to our consent agenda. Item 1, I need a motion to approve the minutes from our May 27th council meeting and the June 2nd committee as a whole meeting. I next need a motion to adopt resolution 51 approving the bills and expense reports. I need a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the city reports and minutes. We have a committee meeting from May 22nd and the Board of Adjustments meeting from May 28th. Next, I need a motion to approve the following renewal applications for Iowa retail cigarette permits. I think there's a list of them. There's Casey's and Cork and Bottle, Dollar General, Fairway, the Tobacco and Vape Store, Hy-Vee, Dollar Fresh, Quick Star, and Walmart. Next, I need a motion to approve the city staff has attached details of unpaid bills to be certified by the Delaware County Treasurer to collect on property taxes. These are fees, snow nuisance removal fees. Next, I need a motion to review the decision of the Board of Adjustment to approve the request of Fred Sternhagen for the property at 220 West Elm Street for an exemption to the Iowa Code, Section 165-2410. Next, I need a motion to adopt Resolution 52, and that's salaries for Ruby Dolan and Ava Toomey, lifeguards up at the pool. I need a motion to adopt resolution 53, and that's appointing commissioner to the this is Sarah Mauer to the Eastern Iowa Regional Housing Authority for the city of Manchester. She is being reappointed. It's usually a 2-year stint, and this year they told me that we could do that for 4 years, and she asked to go ahead and do it again because she said she finally understands what it's all about. So she was very happy to be reappointed. And then next, I need a motion to appoint Doug Hawker to the Board of Adjustments, as recommended by me. He was finishing out a term for somebody, only served, I think, 6 months, and he said he'd like to do a full term this time with the council's approval. Next, I need a motion to approve the payment to Ferg Graham in the amount of $26,403.50 for engineering services related to the West Marion Street Bridge inspection and the Anderson Street improvements. I will take a motion in a second, and then we will open it up for discussion.
Move for approval of the consent agenda. I'll second that.
Okay, and any questions or comments?
Yeah, that Cassandra Duggan property, nothing happened with that yet.
Just turn it over to Jim to look to see it.
Good, he just gave it to me.
Oh, okay, good.
Because there's not a building on there, Jim has some thoughts whether, it's not an abandoned building, it's an abandoned property, so he's gonna do some research on it, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right, thank you.
Never quite dealt with that, so I don't
That's kind of
know.
weird.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, Mary Ann,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
And Brian?
Yes.
Okay, well, we don't have a public hearing tonight, so we'll move on to our regular agenda. First item is, we're looking for a motion to waive the first and second consideration of ordinance 2 and proceed to the final consideration and adoption of, this ordinance 2, it's regarding our fireworks, is that correct?
Yeah, so what staff is requesting is we approve the fireworks ordinance tonight to bring us in line with the Senate Law 303 that the legislature passed and the governor did sign. Basically, it prohibits the cities from being able to, prohibits cities and counties from being able to restrict the discharge of fireworks on July 3rd, July 4th, and December 31st between certain set hours. So since we cannot regulate discharge of fireworks on those dates, we're asking to bring our city code into compliance with that. We didn't have Iowa codification bring our model code back in for us, so we can have that updated with the new requirements. So what we're asking tonight is for you to a motion to waive the first and second reading and proceed on the third and final consideration. Then a motion to approve the third and final consideration. Then we will publish it and then it becomes law at that point.
Okay.
So,
I have a
yes.
question too.
go ahead.
Can, the general public don't get a permit to do this? To shoot off fireworks?
They don't need a permit.
They don't need a permit. Oh, super.
If you're gonna do a large commercial display, that's a different requirement. But if you're shooting things off in your backyard, we can't prohibit it.
So you don't have any special insurance or nothing, at their own risk.
Correct.
Okay.
So define what's the difference between a large display and what somebody might put in their backyard.
There's commercial grade fireworks and then there's residential grade.
Okay.
The residential grades are kind of what you'll get at Walmart and some of the,
Pop rockets.
I
yeah,
didn't know that. That's a good question.
and some of the other locations, some of the commercial entities will make their own commercial grades. Typically they are 4-inch diameter or larger. 2-inch might be even large enough to be a commercial grade.
And just for clarity, there's not anything we can do at the city level to say no. Like that we have to accept this.
Correct.
So with that being said, I'd like to make the motion to waive the first and second reading of the ordinance 02-2025.
I'll second that.
I did have one question I was gonna throw in there, if I just can ask. The only thing I saw under here under violations is violations of this chapter will be reported to the state fire marshal. So is that in the event that we do have a no burn ban, that I keep going back to that no burn ban?
But part of this is also where they have their temporary displays. Or they're selling. So
Okay,
part of the ordinance itself describes what's going on as far as whether a permanent place has sales or a pop-up.
people will use some common sense. Okay, but I had Joe and Linda, is that? All right, any other questions? Joe,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
and Mary Ann.
Yes.
Okay.
Threw me off for a
So
second.
now I would like to make the motion that we go ahead with third reading and accept it. Not that I want to, but I don't have a choice.
Right. Okay,
I will
okay,
be forced to second that.
okay.
I don't think that we should allow it either.
Mary Ann,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Brian,
Yeah.
and Linda.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Next, I need a motion to proceed with the first consideration and adoption of ordinance 3 regarding our water and sewer rates. Do you want to speak to this again, Tim?
Yeah, as we discussed in our budget discussions, budget hearings, in previous meetings, the city is needing to increase our water and sewer rates in order for us to keep up with our costs that we're seeing for treatment costs, maintenance of aging facilities. Staff had proposed to the council, we increase water 7% across the board, and sewer will be 7% across the board. This year, the second year, we are proposing a 7% increase. If you recall, we had Spirit Financial come in and do a utility rate analysis for us. They noted we were probably 21% behind what we should be at that time, so we were looking at doing incremental steps. Last few years, we've had costs go up just like inflation for everybody else. So our insurance rates go up, utility excise costs have gone up. So that's the proposal we have. I do have it put into the, packet there, what it would do, and I did figure out what I had done wrong on the spreadsheet. When you don't finish going through that third page where you consolidate everything. So 7% increase, what'll happen is we'll see a base rate increase from $12.58 per month for water and sewer. Excuse me, that's it. Let me get this up. Yeah, so the base rate for water and sewer will go from $19.84 to $21.23, which would be $1.39 increase per month. Average family of two uses approximately 3,000 gallons. So their rate with the base and the per 1,000 gallon increase, that would increase from $52.30 to $55.97, which would be a $3.67 increase per month. Now, if you're a larger family, stupid AI right here. If you're a larger family, you use 10,000 gallons per month. That's a significant amount of water. Majority of our households using it between 3,000 and 6,000. But 10,000 gallons per month, your base rate would go from your base and per usage rate would go from $120.04 per month to $137.03 per month, which is an increase of $8.99. So just shy of $9 a month increase based on that 7% increase.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes.
How much the money that goes to funds went towards Grand Avenue for that, the street? Like, how much money came out of that fund?
Out of which fund, the water fund?
Yeah, the water fund.
I would have to pull what we were charged or for extending that and connecting that water main to loop it. I don't have that number off the top of my head.
Okay, can I get hold of you?
Yeah,
tomorrow or
yep.
whatever?
Reach out to me tomorrow.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to proceed with the first consideration and adoption of the water and sewer rates, even though we hate to see them go up, unfortunately, with the cost of meters, everything. So,
I'll second. I think we're wise to do it in increments like this. There have been some cities that have raised it 20, 30% in 1 year. And so I really think that we are wise to continue this much as we hate to, so that people aren't getting this huge increase all at one time.
Here, no other questions? Hearing none, Bill,
yes.
Mary Ann,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes.
Brian,
Yeah.
and Joe.
Yes.
All right, next, as we all remember, Doug Foley talked to us about the pool vacuum issue that was going on, and it's brought us some information regarding a replacement for that. I'll let you speak to that, Tim.
Yeah, so Doug is proposing, would like to move forward with the Enduro M32. Its cost is $12,442.84. We do have, a rep that takes care of those, in the state. One of the issues we've run with the Dolphin that we've had for the last 17 years, different Dolphins. They don't do any service, they don't, have anyone that's really local. So we do have a full person that is able to come in and handle it for us. This is more of a commercial grade, it's using more technology on it as well, so they will come in, they will map out the full floor, the obstructions that we have, spray features, so that way the cord does not get wrapped around it and it gets stuck. So as Doug pointed out in his memo, he would like to go with this route. If we were to go to a comparable Dolphin machine, it was gonna be $13,099. So that's a little bit more than what the Enduro is. pool managers that he's talked to that has this machine, they're very happy with it. They don't have to use it as often as they've had to use the other machine, just because it does a better job cleaning. So, Doug's not able to tell you, what the life expectancy of it is, but if we continue to use the same machine that we've used in the past, it's 3 to 5 pool seasons. This year, the machine just died on us. He was expecting to get another year or two off it.
Did he ever get an answer on how long he thinks that the Enduro M32 is gonna last?
I believe what he said at the meeting was that he cannot tell us because it's a new product.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And therefore they don't have the information. It would be nice to be able to know that, but
It's more warranty though.
Didn't
it
they,
sounds like.
Mount Summers had theirs 2 years?
2 years, but yeah, but he can't say that it's gonna last 10 years, which is what he's hoping is 10 to
Well, I had
12
a nice-
years.
I had a nice chat with Doug and he said that, it's a newer model. It's only been out about 4 years. But he eased my mind with my questions. It's the same rep that sells him the Dolphin. So it's not like the rep is trying to sell some, upgrade something. Same guy that does our chemicals. So that kind of eased my mind a little bit. The fact that with the breakdown of the other one, if we would order it, the one that we normally get, you're at 2 to 3 years before it starts to break down, and when it breaks down, they have to ship it off to get it fixed. So then you're down for the season without one. So, in talking with Doug, to me, it makes sense to spend a little bit more. He thought, the rep told him that, you'd be looking at least 9 years or more with the commercial one, which makes sense. So you're doubling your, if you got 3 years out of the other one, right there, you're at 12,000-13,000. So to me, it just makes sense to go ahead
And a longer warranty.
and a longer warranty and the parts. It's harder to get the parts for the other one, and
On-site and ongoing training of your staff for a 2-year period is included in this bid.
Yeah.
Dolphin doesn't have it at all.
and the guy's right out of Old Wine, so he can buzz down here and it sounds like it'll map out the grid. Doug was worried about the weight of it, it's a little bit heavier, but he talked to one of the other pools, and they don't have any problem getting it out, so got a little caddy there, so.
I got that same information we talked to him, so.
And then any repairs they can't make at our swimming pool on that unit,
They'll
they
give
will
us
give us a free
They'll give
loaner
us a loaner.
while it's under warranty.
So we can take action tonight
Yes.
if we choose to. Does anybody want to make a recommendation or?
I move we approve the Enduro M32 for a cost of $12,442.84.
Here, a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
You said the rep was projecting 9 years?
9 to 10, yeah, somewhere around there, but again, he's like, it's a newer model. They've been out on the market for 4 years, but they've had very little product with them, and they do a much better job. Obviously, they're heavier, more commercial. Which means less running time.
Mhm.
When you're cleaning the pool.
That help? Okay. Mary Ann,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Linda.
Yes.
And Brian.
Yes.
Okay. Next, I have, a review of a draft ordinance amending the provisions pertaining to the police department. And I think we talked to everybody about this already. We're looking at trying to streamline some administrative things. Just because since the mayor's position is not full-time here, it just makes sense that they can go to the city manager for some things immediately. Do you want to speak to this any further?
And so this really is a pretty simple revision here. So basically, it strikes out language in the city manager section of the code that would accept the police department from the manager's responsibilities and roles. And then it would include that, it's in the ordinance there. And we do have copies of these. So it would strike out the last sentence from section 1 of, the city manager's responsibilities. And then, under organization, city of Manchester, organization consists of police chief and such law, or other law enforcement officers, personnel, whether full or part-time, as may be authorized by the council. The police chief shall have the general direction and control of the police department, subject to the supervision of the city manager. So the mayor still appoints the police chief with council approval. Basically, it's just administrative review or management through the city manager, which is what a lot of department heads, a lot of people thought anyway, is the chain of command. This is similar to what we have with the city clerk too. City clerk is appointed by the city council, but I oversee the day-to-day operations.
I think it's a good idea, because you're here all the time, like, this whole time.
Yeah.
I think
If the council is agreeable with this, we will bring this back to you at the next meeting, in the form of an ordinance for you to adopt.
Yes.
I think it's great.
No action tonight.
No action tonight. Okay.
I would like to see it on the next agenda.
Okay.
You can't really vote for it. I guess this is my way of saying it.
We will take care of it now.
Next, we have some nuisance property update. This is gonna be Jim.
With the exception of the one that Tim gave me tonight, now I'll get back to you at the next meeting on that, what we can do. The property, on, Third Street, Bowers, we've been authorized to do the, I'm sorry, on Lincoln Street with Gunther, we've been authorized to go ahead and do the cleanup on the one.
We did that Friday.
Friday.
It took 7 hours, 7 dumpsters, 30-yard roll-up dumpsters. With a couple guys in there with skid loaders and everything else. So we'll have a bill from Cleaters.
You'll get that to us, so we can submit it on the land, okay?
And unfortunately, I have a feeling we'll keep an eye on the house itself, the structure. But if it was as full as the yard was, that'll be a problem.
Then we have one on Gay Street that has been cleaned up and then we now have, then it came back again. This was the Miller property, I don't know if that was rings a bell with you, Tim. And it's set for hearing in July now.
Okay.
And then we have another one where we're waiting for the order to let us go in and clean up on Third Street.
Okay.
That's what we have for now. And then we'll, I will tell you that the vacant lot will not be an abandoned vacant lot won't be the same as an abandoned vacant house.
Oh,
We will
okay.
have to follow a different procedure.
Okay.
I quick looked up the code while you guys were talking about
Makes
something
sense.
else, because I wanted to know.
Structure.
So, but there, we'll look for other options on how we can deal with it.
Yeah. I'll talk to Jim with some strategies on that one.
And there are other ways we can do it.
Any questions for Jim? No, hearing none. Okay. Next, Jason. You're next. Lucky you. You're the only one here tonight.
Yeah, I really don't have any specific updates, unless there's any questions of anything that we've been working on that council has on at this time. I think I brought everybody up to speed last week at committee of the whole meeting, kind of what those statements. So
Okay. All right, thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
I noticed they started doing the milling.
They did start the milling at East Main Street. Milled it today. Tomorrow, there are 2 water service lines that are going to get replaced and then paving on Wednesday.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Went to work this morning. I had a road and got home from work and had to grab the Chromebook, come up here, and I was like, where'd my road go?
That's getting a little rough.
Yeah, it all milled all the way through.
Yeah. That just, well, they're just in the out that edge and then put a slope on it. So that's leave the base what you have right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, it went fast.
We'll take it. All right. Jim, did you have anything else for
I
today?
do have one thing. As you remember at a prior council meeting, we were presented with a statement from the wife of a former police officer about complaints and concerns in the department. After that meeting, we had a letter too. We contacted, and Kim did, I guess, contacted an attorney. We engaged the attorney services from a Chris Crilly. She does employment law and mediation in employment matters. She's been around a long time. She's a classmate of mine. Anyway, she met with the officers. We asked her to interview the police officers, and she also met with some of the administrative staff. She went through all of it. In her report, she finds that there was no evidence of any hostile work environment. She actually was a quite positive report overall. No recommendations for action that we should take at this time. Now, that didn't say that there weren't complaints from things in the past or things like that could have happened. You know, no one thinks everything's perfect when you interview her, and she knew better than that too. But anyway, the report was good. She found no evidence of hostile work environment, no significant issues. She met privately with the officers, and there's no action recommended at this time. But I just wanted you to know we did take it seriously. We followed up, and she gave us her recommendations.
I have a question. Did you interview Officer Pearshaw other than that exit?
No,
Okay.
This gal's third party, not normally or
Right.
affiliated with us at all.
not affiliated,
We've used her for one mediation once.
about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, by trade, she does a lot of employment and family law mediation. She's very well known for that, but she also has experience in employment.
But more or less just a third party neutral investigation, so to say.
Correct.
Yep. When somebody who had no ties and she didn't ask Tim's or my permission on anything, she just started meeting with people. That's all I have.
Okay,
Thanks, Jim.
thank you. All right, Tim,
June 16th, we are scheduled to do our goal setting follow-up meeting. That will be here at 5 o'clock. I do have a question for the council. Our next committee, the whole meeting is scheduled for Monday, July 7th.
yeah,
And July 7th is the Monday night is at Fair Parade. We have 5 Mondays in June. We want to move the committee, the whole meeting to June 30th. So we skip meeting on July 7th. We don't interrupt the Fair Parade. We don't have to worry about getting out here for people to participate in that. Is that something the council's interested in doing?
I recommend that, yeah.
Okay, so we will change the committee, the whole meeting to June 30th, the 5th Monday of this month. I hate to put extra meetings on, but this will at least alleviate the
July.
conflict with the one in July. I will get that sent out, notified everybody.
Thank you. Anything else, Tim?
That's all I have.
Looks like we still got an open Monday in June. Would you like to go?
We do?
Oh,
I was gonna say,
I was
did you
kidding.
create one? Okay. All right. Did you have anything?
I got
Laura?
nothing.
You got nothing?
No, apparently not.
Thank you for filling in for Aaron tonight. Brian,
No.
Linda, nothing tonight. Miriam.
It was an amazing weekend in this town.
Oh,
There were so many people here, and I think everybody was having a good time. But what I would like to do is thank the city staff for all the work that they did cleaning up.
yeah.
I was totally amazed. Each morning as I would drive through town, you couldn't tell anything had happened the night before. They did such a great job of cleaning everything. The streets were clean. There was no trash sitting around. It was absolutely amazing. And then the next night, we crashed the place again, and the next morning, they had it clean again. I was just so impressed with the work that they did, because
Our partners,
it goes unseen. I mean, people go home and they don't realize that overnight, the little shoe fairies come in or somebody
Little
and
elf.
takes, yes, the little, I didn't want to say fairies, so, but elves come in and they just clean it all up, and it's just amazing. These guys do such good.
I appreciate you thanking the staff, because they do put in a lot of hard work. I do want to say, our partners with the events helped out tremendously too. They have
They
great
do.
volunteers.
They do.
But yeah, our staff did
Wow.
come in and put in a lot of hours to help out, get things straightened out so that we could have such a great event too.
And it was fun to work with those different entities, I think. It's nice when the chamber can work with the city, you know, that type of thing. So, yeah, it was a great weekend.
Thank you. Joe?
Well, since Mary Ann's mind reader, I just was gonna bring up River Days as well. One of the things that I've heard a lot of compliments. So everybody that was involved, thank you for putting in all the hard work to organize it and maintain it, stuff, bring it to town. Did hear a lot of feedback here recently about the house across from the library, liking to see some progress on it, so. Citizens are happy to see that, and then, had a customer come into the store at Vicious that is from Charles City, that they have a white water park over there. And he said that he's been over and visited ours and, absolutely loves it. So, he said that we're trending in the right direction, the community is, so he's just seen a lot of, growth and progress in Manchester throughout the years, because he's been here a few times, so. Just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Joe?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Okay. Again, kudos to everybody who helped with River Days this past weekend. Stay tuned for 4th of July weekend, because we'll have music on Maquoketa again on the 3rd, and then there will be having a red, white, and new 4th of July celebration at Terrell Park from 11 until 3. Free swim to everybody. Or the families can come let their kids swim. We're gonna have a little kiddie parade. There'll be children's activities, food trucks. We've got, also, the community band is gonna be playing at the band shell, and we've got, music entertainment. If you wanna come down and share your talents with people downtown that night. Ben Engelken's gonna host an open mic for the rest of that day until about 2:30-ish, 3. So, that way people can still get to our surrounding communities for their fireworks and any other events that they're having there. So just a way for some of the people in our community who can't get out of town to still be able to celebrate our independence. So we're excited to offer that this year. With that, I'll take a motion from Bill, a second from Joe, that we are adjourned. And we're adjourned. You guys all have a great week.